near to the nature. So, rural community is a group of people with a common characteristics or interest living together in a village. So, the people that are in a village do similar kind of things that is close to the nature and has a low population over there. Less social differentiation is there because all people do same type of work, so have similar income, similar structures, so everything is same. So that is life of a rural people. Then come to rural development. This is a strategy designed to improve the economic and social life of a rural poor. Means if you want to upgrade the rural people, the people who are living in the rural areas means that is area that is far away from the cities, and people are mostly surviving on their agriculture sector there. So, this is a process which aims at improving the well being and self realization of the people living outside the urbanized area through collective process. So, the people who are not in urbanized areas that are far away from these areas, for those we need a rural development. This is to bring change among the rural community through traditional way of living to progressive way of living. Means those people who are living in the rural areas, we have to change their lifestyle, means we have to increase their income. How their income can be increased, how their living standards can be increased, and we can make them more progressive, because they mainly depends upon the agriculture and believe that on sustainable agriculture, means sustained agriculture, means they want to earn the things just to sustain life, not to live a luxury life, or to live a comfort life, but to sustain a life they work. So then to make them traditional way of living to progressive way of living. Getting my point? Getting my point, Sedin? Can you open your camera? Sidin and Ahmed. Can you
Yes,
open your cameras? Have you attended my earlier classes? Ahmed,
I get the point.
have you attended my earlier classes?
Yeah.
Then who else is this? Siddhan.
Like,
Are you there? Siddhan, are you there? Or Siddhan has just entered and doing personal works. Siddhan, are you there? Siddhan is not responding. Okay.
Jives, his name is Jives.
Jivesh.
Yeah, are you there? Yeah, he is also working, and then there may be some problem. But
Okay,
anyway, ma'am,
okay.
you may continue.
Okay, okay. Then there is the objective of rural development. First one is to develop farm, home, public services, and village community. Means where the people is living, that is village. Where they are working, that is farm, and there's social services. Whatever hospitals or schools or nearby places there are, hygiene places. So that is to make them more hygienic, more developed. Then to bring improvement in producing of crops and animal living conditions, means to enhance the agricultural production and livestock production. To improve the health and education conditions, that is to improvement, that is to increase the number of schools, maybe primary schools in that area. For to improve the health, there should be more hospitals, then there should be more education facilities, sanitation facilities should be there, washrooms should be developed for the overall development of that community. So this is the development of rural areas, to improve the villagers with their own effort, to improve village communication, that is if the people came to know about the prices of their produce, whatever they are producing, if they can sell the produce themselves at better price, so it will benefit them. Usually what happens, the villagers sell the produce to the traders. Now the traders bring their produce to the urban areas and sell it at high cost and give the take the margin with them and give the low cost to the farmers, because they are unaware of the actual cost. So they take advantages of the villagers because of the lack of communication. So thus there should be a better communication, better living conditions, better employment, storage facilities. So developing this is the main objective of rural development. Then we have various farm and non-farm linkages. Then structure of the farming sector, how is the structure. Then there are certain elevation programs in this lecture, and then rural development experiences in Asia, which we will be covering in the next lecture. Then farm and non-farm linkages means how the farm sector is linked with the non-farm sectors. See, non-farm sectors means industries. All the inputs, raw material, labor, all comes from the farm sector to this non-farm sectors. Because the raw material, like we prepare paper, paper comes from the wood. So all these materials comes from the farming sector to the non-paper industry, to the non-farming sectors. So farm sector can be defined as sectors involving all farming activities, including crop and non-crop activities. Whereas non-farm sectors can be defined as sectors involving an activity other than farming activity. Say industry producing paper, industry producing pesticides, or industry producing certain final product, like if you are producing a flour, there is a flour factory, so that needs a wheat or multigrains, so that they can process the multigrains and bring a multigrain atta or flour. So this is a combination or integration of different farm and non-farm industries. Then crop and non-crop activities of the farming are basically crop production, livestock, forestry, fisheries, finance, and services sector. Like insurance is required in certain activities, like because crop is mainly dependent on weather conditions. So you should be insured of certain crops, because if of sometimes unforeseen circumstances came, suppose flood, famine came, so your crop due to flood is destructed. So in that case, you have, if you have an insurance, you can get at least the cost of production of that crop. So all these things should be interlinked. Then the proportion of rural non-farm workers to the rural workers in India. So this is basically male workers and female workers. You can see more of the female workers is engaged in agriculture sector, because in hilly areas basically women are the working population. Basically women do all the hard works there. So the proportion of female to the male is high. Then contribution of farm sector to non-farm sectors. According to this is a very important theory given by Simon Kuznets. That is, a farm sector make three types of contribution to the non-farm sector. Means how the farm sector is important to the non-farm sector, how agriculture is important to industry sector. So because first thing is, it is a factor competition contribution. Most of the inputs we require came from the farm sector. The non-farm sectors, whatever inputs are required in the industry, that is basically the farming sector is the main source of that non-farm sectors. Then production contribution, major part of the non-farm sector, uh, the contribution comes from the farming sector. So here you can see is what is the factor contribution. With the development of the farm sector, some resources like capital and labor releases and transferred to the non-farm sector. Because of the productive nature of these resources, their transformation to non-farm sector is considered as factor contribution. So what this want to say that sometimes the people move from agriculture to industry sector, because nowadays due to urbanization less people are engaged in agriculture. So more and more people, if they are moving towards the urban areas, leaving the rural areas, so this is a sort of factor contribution. Like in our rural areas we have villagers, fathers, parents doing agriculture work, but they want that their kids should educate, do good, some good job, move to the urban areas. They don't want that their kids should also follow the agriculture as they do, as they have been doing same through many years. So this is a sort of, that is, they are giving a productive resource to the non-farm sector. Means they are educating their children and warn them to get employed in industrial sector where they will be getting better and ensured income, because they believe that the income from agriculture sector is uncertain depending upon nature. So they wanted them to be away from the risk of this uncertainty, and then they want them to be shift to the non-farming sector. So it is just a factor contribution in form of productive, which is productive and which is provided as a movement of labor or capital from farm to the non-farm sector. Then comes the supply of capital. The famous economist Ragnar Nurks referred to the other means of capital flow from farm sector to the non-farm sector. So there is another, you should remember what are the, who gave which type of theory. So Kuznets has given the theory based upon factor contribution, product contribution and market contribution. Class sorry. So factor contribution, product contribution and market contribution. So this theory is given by Kuznets, and then Nerks has told that basically capital flow, how this capital flow is important and how it moves from the farm sector to the non-farm sector. He remarked that in the overpopulated economies, zero value labor or distinguished labor is prevalent. So he has told that some of the people who are engaged in the farming sector has zero productivity, that they are doing nothing, their marginal productivity is zero. So if the person who is engaged in agriculture sector is doing nothing, giving no worth, then that person can be shift from agriculture to the non-agriculture sector. So this is a type of again factor contribution from farm sector to the non-farm sector, and the theory is given by Nerks that the person who was not doing anything or not giving productively, suppose a person is sitting on a farm but not doing any productive work, so that person is sluggish. So that person can be shifted to the non-farm sectors, like producing certain roads or dams or canal. Are you getting? Are you getting, Ahmed? Mohammed Ahmed, are you there? Uh,
I,
Am I?
I understand the I understand the concept.
Okay, shall I continue?
You can continue.
Okay. So you should remember the things, that first thing is the this how the people move from non-farm sector, from farm sector to non-farm sector if they are not productive. So that if marginal productivity is zero, this line is given, then you must jump to that this statement is given by Nerks. And if it is say suppose uh, three contributions given by farm to non-farm sector, when these three contributions are listed, then you jump to the name cousinate. So you should remember these names. Then supply of the labor, there are three types of potential sources of supply of labor for the development of non-farm sector. These are population growth, immigration, farm population. So there are three types of product potential sources of supply of labor. Means supply of labor can be done if there is overpopulation in agriculture sector, if the people want to move from rural to urban areas, and if farm population is very high, then the people think to move to the non-farm sector. So supply of labor through natural population growth is not in the interest of the economy, as it grow never adequate and balanced. Similarly, supply of the labor through immigration possess other serious problems due to different languages, customs. In such situations, non-farm sector development is dependent on the farm population. So this is an important thing कि how this labor supply is important to the non-farm sector. So different sources by which you can supply is if there is overpopulation, if people want to shift towards the urban areas, or if the farm population seems to be unproductive, then this supply of labor can be done. But these have also certain problems. There may be language problems because industrial sector may be well educated people, they might be speaking in English, but these people though coming from the rural areas might not able to understand their languages, their customs, living conditions. So all these may create problem. Then come to product contribution. The product contribution of farm sector to the non-farm sector is of two types. First one is, sorry, the income of the people who are still in the farm sector increases due to the increase in the price of the farm product on account of high demand by the non-farm population. Thus, the farm sector population also demand more farm products. Means if the people who are in the farm sector, if suppose there is increase in the price of the farm product has been done, so non-farm population wants that product to be at their account so that they can sell that product and capture higher prices from the market. So ultimately, the total consumption in the economy increase at faster rate. The whole demand of the non-farm sector population for food grain is met by the farm sector. As the non-farm sector develops their dependence on the farm sector for supply of capital, labor, raw materials, but has been reduced, but it increases in case of food grains until fast food or junk synthetic foods are not available in the market. Excuse me. So this want to say that ki, the people who are living in the rural areas, they are creating a product for the urban population, and if there is a great demand, see it is written that if there is a demand for their farm product, then this will increase the income of the people who are in the farm sector because they are the source of their product. They want that product to be supplied to the urban people, and urban people wants to purchase them from there at their given prices. So this is two-way process. Both are giving, and both they are taking the product, they are giving the price for it, and the rural people want the price to upgrade their income. So this is a two-way process. Both are getting the things and then sustaining their lives. Then this is a supply of wage good. Means whatever they are supplying, they are getting in return of that their price or money. Now suppose supply of raw material. The reasons behind this is obvious. Firstly, farm sector easily produce raw material for agro-based industry. Secondly, labor intensive techniques are generally used in this sector, so the labor can be transferred. So we have a labor that is engaged in agro-based industries. So if there is intensification, means if there is technology came, suppose there is a machinery came, so a people from that sector can be shifted to another industry. Moreover, the transfer of the labor from farm sector to agro-based industry is easier due to the subjective condition of the labor. So, if suppose 20 people are working in packaging, ठीक है? So if a industry has purchased a packaging machinery, so they will reduce the people from 20 to 5. So other people are unemployed. So that 15 people can be shifted to another agro-based industry to get employed, because now that industry has been mechanized, machinery has been came and replaced the work of labor. So this is what they want to say. So it is clear that in the initial stages of the development, farm sector supplies raw material to the non-farm sector. This could be managed either by intensive cultivation or by diversification. from food crops to non-food crops, which are to be used as raw material in non-farm sector. So this is what they want to say, that the raw material is supplied from the non-farm, from the farm sector to non-farm sector, and the labor can also be transformed if there is intensification in cultivation. So they not only provide the raw material, but they also provide the labor to the non-farming sector. Then there has been a product contribution like supply of wage good, then supply of labor is discussed, then supply of capital. So we have discussed all these things. Then come to um, raw material is done. Then market contribution. So have you got these points? How they have supplied raw material, how they have supplied wage goods. It is clear? Shall I proceed?
Yes, you can proceed.
Okay, market contribution means farm sector plays an important role for the development of non-farm sector of the economy through market contributions. With the development of agriculture, income of the farming population increased, which in turn led to additional demand for non-farm product for both production and consumption purposes. So here they want to say that if the people are working in agriculture and non-agriculture sector, then both will be responsible for their market contribution. Higher the raw material the farm sector is giving to the non-farm sector, higher will be the production, and higher, if the production will be higher, then people will be purchasing more, means consumption will be higher. So both are dominating each other. It is generally seen in agriculture dominating economies like India, the demand for all the types of non-farm product decline with the fall in agricultural production. Thus there is direct relationship between demand for non-farm product and farm production in the economy. The demand for all type of farm products increases with increase in agriculture production. Thus, there is a direct relationship between demand for non-farm product and farm. Yeah, yeah, this is written wrong actually. This is, they want to say that more is the raw material, more is the non-farm product production. So that's why there is a direct relationship between demand for non-farm products and farm production in the economy. Okay, higher will be the production, higher will be the demand for non-farm products because they are the basis. Their raw material comes from the farm products. So rise in the non-farm institutions means the farm sector give rise to new institutions which promote non-farm sector development in the economy. So there are other institutions, there are financial institutions that provide finance to these for developing machineries, equipment, processing units. So they all will be benefited. So if there is rise in non-farm institution, this will let the farming sector to produce more because they will demand more of the raw material, because now they have to process the thing. Suppose they are producing tomatoes, now they are producing tomato ketchups, tomato purees. So they need now the product in more quantity. So this will promote the non-farm sector. So this will rise to various non-farm institutions uh, uh, for the financial facilities. Then if there is more production, then this will leading to international trade. Okay. Then contribution of non-farm sector to farm sector. So we can recall first how the farm sector is contributing to the non-farm sector. First is factor contribution, means they are giving a labor as a factor. They are giving them final product, and also they are giving their market contributions, means share in the market. More of the raw material they are supplying, more will be the final product. So this is supply of the capital, means if there is capital supplies more, then labor will be less labor will be required. So if less labor will be there, more labor will be moving to the non-farm sector. Those were engaged in agriculture sector, now they are relieved from agriculture and they will shift to non-farm sector. So this is a supply of capital. Then supply of labor, they will also provide the labor to the non-farm sector. Then as a good, they will provide a final good to the non-farm sector, a raw material. Then this will lead to expanded market, rise in non-farm institutions that can help in developing various processing industries and leading to the export of the commodities through higher production. That is international trade development. Then come to next, how contribution of non-farm sector to the non-farm sector. Is this session clear? Then farm and non-farm sector are the two wheels of an economy. These sectors are mutually dependent on each other. In the initial stage of development of the economy, the contribution of farm sector to the non-farm sector is very important. But with the passage of time, farm sector begins to depend upon the non-farm sector for its further development. In this stage, the non-farm sector contributes to the development of the farm sector in the following way. First one is supply of the modern farm input, employment opportunities, and demand for farm products. Then supply of modern farm inputs. The most important contribution of non-farm sector to the farm sector is the provision of modern farm inputs. In the developed countries, basically the farm inputs that is provided to the non-farm sectors will lead to their more production. Like if machineries, agrochemicals have been provided by the non-farm sectors. So if these types of support is given by the non-farm sectors to the farming sector, so there will be more productivity, more production. If transport and communication facilities are given to the agriculture sector, there will be better marketing. So not only the farm sector is helping the non-farm sector, but vis-a-vis the non-farming sector is also supporting the farm sector to raise their production because they are the ultimate root of their growth. So if they provide better equipment, machineries, implements, agrochemicals, better communication, better road developments, then this will enhance the production and marketing of the farming sector. This will also lead to employment opportunities for surplus farm labor. If there is surplus farm labor, those people who are disguised unemployment, you are doing worthless work, so that can be shifted to their non-farm sectors. So demand for the farm product, more is the demand for the farm product, more will be the growth of the farming sector. Then come to supply of the consumer good. Non-factor sector supplies modern inputs to the this is modern, sorry, modern inputs to the farm sector, but it also provide consumption goods to the farming community. With the development of the farming sector, the living standard of the farmers improve and their consumption pattern become diversified. So they want to say that if the non-farm sector provide better inputs to the farm sector, so they can enhance their production and then can increase their productivity and hence enhance their income and standard of living. So everything is vis-a-vis, that is moving in the two-way process. Give and take policy is there, that is raw material is given by the farm sector to the non-farm sector, but that raw material to produce better, to have a greater productivity, the non-farm sector is also giving them support through agrochemicals, so raise their production. And if their production is raised, the farming non-farming sector will get more raw material to produce more, so there will be a better demand, there will be more demand of the commodity, and thus the standard of people may be raised because of high income. Because more demand, there will be more price of the product. If price is more, then seller will get more income. Then this will lead to the betterment of the society. Then development of infrastructure. If there is proper road development, yeah, means of communication development, so this will help to the overall growth of that sector. Creation of innovative environment. So the development of non-farm sector initiates. Suppose a farmer is working in the field. Now the non-farm sector can provide the help to this farming sector through a software. Like if a app is being created for the farming sector of, suppose you have a soil with these dimensions, then you should grow this variety. This variety will give you such and such productivity. You should water, give irrigation, 2 3 irrigation during this month. You should apply fertilizer at this dose. You should do harvesting at this time. If such type of app is being created, that is the work of non-farm sector, and this is provided to the farming sector. So this will help them to fight against the risk and uncertainty of climatic factors, because then they would be working on certain um, pre-assumptions that is given by that app. So this is a support which is given by the non-farming sector to the farming sector. Okay,
It is well understood.
Jivesh, is it okay?
It's okay. It is well understood.
Shall I continue?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
No, yeah, it is visible now.
Okay. Then come to structure of farming sector. How the farming sector is being created. So this is how the input is being used, what is the output, how it is, whether the production is self-sufficient to secure the people or not. So this is all what we will be discussing in this chapter. So this will cover about the farming sector of the economy, growth trends in the farm inputs, production trends in various major crops and livestock, and whether this production will lead to self-sufficiency and food security or not. So these are the basic objectives of this lecture. So starting with the first one, due to rapid industrialization, the share of the farming sector had a sharp decline and reached to the level of 18% in 4 and 5. Farming sector still continues to be a major contribution of national economy, especially in terms of employment. There existed a declining trend of farming sector and increasing trend of manufacturing and servicing sector. So this says that farming sector though is the major contributor to the national economy, but there is a declining trend in the farming sector as compared to the industrial and service sector. But with still the farming sector possesses dominant role towards the national economy as very high proportion of working population is engaged in the farming sector. Farm sector provide the main support for Indian transport system. Further, bumper crops imply large purchasing power with the farmer, lead to the greater demand for manufacturing and other things. Thus, prosperity of the farmer is also the prosperity of the industries. Means all these farm sector provide all types of raw material, and these supplemented by the better roads, railways. This will lead to the better development of the farming sector and prosperity. Then you can see that here the agricultural labors 144.3 144.3% of the people are here engaged in agriculture's laborers form. Earlier there was 1210, so out of 1210 population, the rural population is 83, 833, 833. Then cultivators are 118, agriculture labor is 144, and total working population is 481.9. So trend in input use. Trend in input use is, so you can see here out of rural population 833, only 481 people is working. So it means some of the people are unemployed. So that people can move to the non-farming sector for their employment. Trends in the input use. Output is the product of the input used in any enterprise. The use of the input goes on changing with change in the volume of production, technology, transformation, development of new inputs, etc. In the field of agriculture, input requirement also increases with the depletion of another available nutrients in the soil on account of continuous crop growing and changing resource base of the farmer. This section deals with trends of the input use in agriculture sector. Means in this slide I will be telling you about how the inputs are being used in agriculture sector. What is the trend? So you can see here in the graph, geographical area is 328.73, reporting area is 307.79, forest is 72 hectares. This is all in hectares. The unit is not mentioned here, but this is all in hectares. This is in hectares. I will do it later on. So, forest is 72.01, area and not available is 44.51. Then, in this way, you can see that there is barren land also 17.77 and uncultivable land is 25.75. So, cropping intensity is how much of the crop is being cultivated in how much of the area. So, this is 143.60. And net irrigated area is 71.55 hectare, gross irrigated area is 102.67 hectares. So how is the distribution of operational holdings? This is how. So operational holdings is divided into four parts, that is marginal farmer, small farmer, medium farmer and large farmer. So marginal farmer is a farmer which have a land which is less than 1 hectare. The small farmer is a farmer with a land that is 1 to 4 hectares, then medium 4 to 10 and large 10 and above. So these are the figures for, so in this way we classify the land holdings. Then the type of seed. There are different classifications of seed which has been done. That is, the seed is classified as certified seeds. So this is done by the government of India, has set up National Seed Corporation NSC in 1963, where the State Farm Corporation of India in 1969 is to produce and supply quality seeds. Then there is breeder seed, foundation seed, and certified seeds. There are three types of seeds which is authorized by the government of India. What are the different types of seeds that are available in your country? Any idea? Like in our country, we have a seed like breeder seed, certified seeds, foundation seeds. So, do you know any classification of seed done in your area? No? Ahmed, do you know any classification? Ahmed, are you there?
I need more clarification about the previous chat that you have passed. The one to discuss the amount of hectares of land that are distributed among the farmers.
Okay, okay, I will be telling you. In breeder seed is the primary stage of the seed production cycle. The seed which is at the early stage. So that is known as breeder seed. That is given by ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. National Seed Corporation, the State Corporation of India, as well as state agriculture universities. So breeder seed is a seed which is developed by the genetics department, breeding departments. So they create a new variety of seed that is, gives more productivity, or that is heat tolerant or disease tolerant variety. So foundation seed second is the second stage of the seed production cycle. The National Seed Corporation, the State Farm Corporation of India and State Seed Corporation has been given the responsibility for the production of foundation seed. To ensure adequate availability of the foundation seed, the Government of India is now allocating breeder seed to private seed producers for rapid multiplication of breeder seed to the foundation seed. So, this is the foundation seed means the seed that is provided to ensure that there will be more seed available for the production. So this is a foundation seed, that is breeder seed to foundation seed. This is given by the Seed Corporation, State Farm Corporation, State Seed Corporation, and has given the responsibility for the production of foundation seed to ensure the availability of the foundation seed. The Government of India is now allocating breeder seed to the private seed producers. So then there is certified or quality seeds are being produced and distributed to the farmers in all the regions. The Parliament has passed the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Right legislation. The objective of this legislation is to protect effectively plant varieties and farmers' right, and also promote research in development of the new plant varieties. The Act recognizes the role of the farmer as cultivators and conserve as well, and the contribution of traditional rural and tribal communities to the Indian agro biodiversity. So we have three types of seeds: breeder seed, that is a primary seed. Then if one want availability of the more seeds in that sector, so that is given to the foundation seed, that this variety, this seed should be available, how to multiply this seed and create that is foundation. And then finally a better quality and certified seeds is the that is being produced and distributed to the farmer. So, if somebody asks you what is the type of seed that is provided to the farmer, you can say it is the type of certified or quality seed. Which type of seed is being provided to the scientist or researcher? Then this is the breeder seed. So, this is the difference. Then, what is a fertilizer? Fertilizer is a material or natural or synthetic origin that is applied to the soil or plant tissues to supply one or more plant nutrients essential to the growth of the plants. So this is basically fertilizer. Then consumption of fertilizer and pesticides is day by day increasing in our country. Then irrigation is the artificial application of water to the land or soil. It is used to assist in the growing of agricultural crops. Then there is a what is the necessity of irrigation? First one is insufficient rainfall should be there. If there is insufficient rainfall, then there will be necessity of irrigation. Then uneven distribution of rainfall, improvement of perennial crops, then development of agriculture in the desert areas. So these are the necessity of irrigations. Then benefits of the irrigation. The basic benefits of the irrigation is increase in the crop yield, protection from famine or flood, cultivation of the superior crops, elimination of mixed cropping, economic development, hydropower generation, domestic and industrial water supply. So these are the benefits of the irrigation. So this is how we can do irrigation in our field. Then there are certain schemes also. The accelerated irrigation benefit programs was launched in 1966-67 to encourage the states for completion of ongoing irrigation projects through central loan assistance. So there are certain schemes has been launched for better irrigation facilities to the farmer. Then mechanization. Every machine mechanization means you are using the high tech inputs and machineries. So there is a need for agriculture mechanization for intensification of agriculture. So for this is the substitute of labor. Labor is too expensive to do everything. Compensate for the labor peaks. Labor skills and strength often inadequate for large scale production. Amenity reasons attract or retain farm staff, increase productivity of farm staffs. So you this can be deleted. So these are the reasons why there is a need for mechanizations. Then disadvantages of mechanization is this can be costly, this can be redundancy. Machineries should be redundant, sometimes working, sometimes not working. They require repair and maintenance, and they can also create pollution. So they have environmental cost, so they can also not do the thing. Suppose if there is no electricity, then that machinery will not work, though labor can work in the absence of electricity also. So there are certain obligations also. Then agricultural mechanization can be done through farm machinery, means we can mechanize our machineries, we can mechanize irrigation, we can mechanize drainage. So these are the three things we can mechanize upon: irrigation, machineries, and drain engineering. So machineries like tractor, we can mechanize these tractors. Then these are certain, this can be used in plowing, tilling, disking, harrowing, planting. So we can save the time and labor. Then combine is a machinery by which we can thresh on and harvest our grain plants. So now come to the flow of institutional credit to the agriculture sector. How the credit is being flows to the agriculture sector. Am I going right? Hmm. Jivesh, are you there?
Ma'am, you may continue. However, Mr. Abunkar has left. I'm asking him to join, but anyway, you may continue, ma'am.
He was responding now.
Yeah, he was responding, but
But Jivesh is not responding. So it seems very lecture seems to be dull in that case.
yeah. Then in
Okay.
that case, ma'am, you may complete within some 20 minute, 30 minute. Then
Okay.
yeah,
Then flow of institutional credit in agriculture means how the credit is being flowed in agriculture sector. How it is important, you may also know. That is the basic role of credit in agriculture, because this is the main source of providing the equipment, machineries, raw materials. All these are provided through the loan, through the bank. So that is why there is a need for credit. Then for marketing purpose, they need a proper transportation for buying a vehicle or such things. They need again credit. So these are the sources of the credit. Credit can be provided through cooperative societies, through commercial banks, through land development banks, through regional rural banks. We have these are being designated specially for the rural areas. Then NABARD, that is National Agriculture Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. This is the national or apex bank for the rural development in our country. So at village level, we have primary agricultural credit societies, cooperative banks, state cooperative banks. So this is how the institution. These are the institutional source of credit. Though there are also non-institutional source like money lenders, landlords, friends, relatives can also provide the non-institutional loans. So basic the thing that is being provided to the people in rural areas is through PACs, primary agricultural credit societies. These basically provide the credit for purchase of equipment, machineries, for growth, for the supply of the inputs at cheaper rates. Then central cooperative bank is there. This is at work at district level, and these coordinate the activities of district central financing agencies, organizing credit for PACs and carry out banking businesses. Means this structure is three-tier structure. Three-tier structure is The bank works at national level, then state level, then district level, then village level. So three tier is state, district, and village. So this the finance flows from the state level, then district level, then village level. So this is the tier structure. Then commercial banks also provide loans to the farmers. Then land development banks provide loans to the farmers for purchase of land, for purchase of for construction of godowns, for digging of the wells. Means if there is a large scale finance requirement, then the farmers can move to the land development banks. Now the names of these land development banks is now moved to S card, that is state cooperative agricultural and rural development banks. This is cooperative agriculture and rural development banks. Now they are not known as land development banks. So then we have regional rural banks. Then there are various schemes of the government, like to the farmers who are landless. For those farmers, a loan is given as the Kavi loans. These loans are given to the landless farmers uh, that have faced certain natural calamities. At the loan is given to these farmers at very low interest rate. Then the BARD is there. This was established in 1982, and the major function of this is to provide the financial facilities to the farmers for the development of their agriculture sector. This is the refinancing bank, because these refinance facilities to the bank and other financial institutions. Refinancing is because this not directly provide finance to the farming sector, but refinances other banks and like regional rural banks, lead banks. So all these banks provide finance from the financial banks, and then these banks provide finance to the rural people. Then come to livestock sector. Livestock sector, Mohammed Ahmed, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry for the
Okay.
on and off. We have a bit of distraction here from our end.
Okay, it's okay. Livestock sector, in this livestock sector, this is the sector that includes animal husbandry, dairy, fisheries, uh, production. This is the very important sector and plays a very important role in the rural economy, in the development of rural economy. Like we can see the population of buffaloes is 580 millions, then poultry is about 2020 millions. So there is a great support from this sector to the growth and development of the economy. This is the importance of livestock sector in our country, because this is the main source of manuring to the crop production, fuel for domestic use. It is a source for minimizing use of non-renewable energy. Livestock an important source of income for the farmer and rural poor people. Then comes to production of milk. India is the largest producer of milk in the world. Five largest milk producing countries in the world are India, USA, Russia, Germany, and France. India produces 13.1% of total milk produced in the world. Out of 693 million tons milk production in the world, India milk production stands 104.8 million. Then here you can see that India is the largest milk producer, but the per capita availability of the milk is still 252 grams per day, which is lower than the world average. Means there is a lack of processing. Though we have the production, but the people are not getting the required amount of milk. This is a trend in the milk production which is increasing. Then come to poultry. So in milk we have to focus on milk processing, because the milk is an perishable commodity. There is a lack in storage, developing cold storages for them. So we should go for processing, creating milk powders, milk products, and then enhance their production. Then come to poultry and egg. This poultry, excuse me, India stands at fifth position in egg production and 18th in broiler production. The growth rate of poultry sector is 8 to 10% per annum. 70% egg of the country produced in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra, means major part of the egg production take place in Andhra Pradesh. Then Indian poultry meat products have good markets in Japan, Malaysia, Indonesia and Singapore. We have scope of exporting the products to Japan, Malaysia, India, Indonesia and Singapore. Here you can see that there is a highest growth, there is a tremendous growth in the production. Then come to the fish. Similarly to fish is also very important. It is about the total fish production is 76.21 thousand tons. Again, the trend is rising. Then meat products. India rank 8th in meat production. Again, this has a rising trend. Here you can see the per capita availability of milk, meat, and egg. So there is a high availability of egg. Then the availability of meat is also increasing and milk is also increasing. Then benefits of livestock sector in India, though it is increasing, but still, according to the nutritional requirements, the per capita availability is still less than what is required by ICMR requirements. The benefits of the livestock sector development in India. So this will provide boom for the sustainable livelihood of the landless and marginal farmer. It provides self-employment. It provides the manuring and support for the growth of the crop production. So this is livestock. Major livestock is in UP. Then we have a great goat production in our country. Livestock product population is rising to 4.6%. Then share in livestock to the total output, total GDP of our country is 5.1%. We have a total bovine population of 302.79 million. So this is the livestock census. Then trends in output growth. That is, there has been a growth in different crops. You can see here the cotton production is increasing. Earlier it was in minus, then it is increasing. Also in sugarcane, we have an increasing trend in crops. Then rapeseeds also we have increasing. In most of the crops, we have increasing trend.
Ma'am, Mohammed wants to ask some question. Mohammed, do you want to ask some
Yes,
question?
yes, yes, yes. Very good.
Okay, yes, yes. Thank you, doctor. I have a lot of interest in this the dairy sector because
Okay.
that's where I work, and I want to understand how Indian government are working on this dairy sector, particularly the smallholder farmers or the pastoralists generally.
At what?
I mean, from the analysis you have here, I can see there is a lot of activity around dairy production
Hmm.
from the from the livestock, which you have
Hmm.
explained before, and I can see the trend is rising every now and
Hmm.
then. So
Hmm.
how does the government comes in here? Because I know here in our country there is a bit of government intervention, but it's not enough. So, and there are a lot of private sectors coming in and NGOs coming in, trying to see how they can advance dairy production, particularly milk. So, how does Indian
We have
government go
we have
around this to
many
have?
we have many dairy development programs, like intensive dairy development programs has been there. All these programs are there to enhance the productivity of milk in our country. How the production of milk can be enhanced. A training is being given to the farmers to how to give the feed to the animals. Then adoption of certain animal schemes is also there. If in a village few people will adopt few animals, so they will be getting so much of benefits or subsidies from the government. So there are different schemes that supports the growth and development of livestock sector in our country. And basically the people in the hilly areas, they basically keep the animals, because in hills the crop is uncertain because of the weather conditions. So they don't have the another option. They have to give either the goat, or either the sheep, or either the cow with them to sustain their life, so that if in case the crop doesn't grow well, so milk is being produced and they can sell the milk to the nearby places and then earn their income. Besides this, government is giving a large, like now we have A2 milk in our country. A2 milk is the organic milk production. Do you know about A2 milk?
Yeah, yeah, I've heard a bit about it.
Government is now focusing on A2 milk, that is organic milk production. So there are certain schemes has been time by time coming in our country that will leading to the growth of this sector. That's why there has been growth, but still the per capita availability is less, because in our country the focus is not given on processing part, much on processing part, like developing a cold chain developments. So we have to focus in that area to increase more per capita availability. Okay?
Okay, is a bit like what the Nigerian government is trying to do. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have you got your answer?
Yes, very well,
Okay,
very
okay,
well. I
thank
will
you.
do some research on the kind of
Yeah.
programs that's been carried out in
Yeah,
India and some other countries.
in the coming class, I will let you know about more programs on livestock. Okay?
Yes, yes.
Then come to the um, this we have done. So there is annual milk and egg production productivity. You can see everything is increasing here. In horticulture, we have National Horticulture Mission that leads to more development of the vegetables in our country. That is, in the world, India occupied first position in the production of cauliflower, second in onion, and third in cabbage. So we have a national mission on this. Then we have done this livestock. Then what is food sufficiency? Food sufficiency is defined as the ability of the household or regions to maintain their own food requirement. So this is to move out from the each people should get each people should get the sufficient amount of the nutritional requirement which they want in their life, means proteins, vitamins, minerals, all should get from whatever they are eating. So nowadays the government is focusing on more on the production of millets, so increase the consumption of, because that is a multi-nutrient or multivitamin diet. People have to increase the multivitamin, multi-nutrients diet after the COVID to boost up their immunity. So, what is food security? Means availability, accessibility, and affordability. So, you have all the three things will you. Not only the thing should be available, but it should be accessible and also affordable. Then, facing certain problems of food security, insecurity, that is in Uttar Pradesh, then Jharkhand, Orissa, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra. Then we have a green revolution in Punjab and Haryana. So we have a large amount of wheat production over here. But in there is a low growth in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, northeastern part. So these are the states that are suffering from food insecurity. So this is what needed, that if there is a buffer stock, means stock has been there, so that should be distributed through public distribution system like ration shops, and then should be provided to the people. So in our country now, the government has decided, earlier the government was giving wheat in the ration shops, but now the government is also decided to give millets through ration shops. Ration shops are the shops where the low income people can get their rations, that is like the things that is necessary to them for their survival, like sugar or wheat, They want to make chapatis. So now the government is also including millets to enhance their nutritional requirements. So this is the public distribution schemes. And then revamped public distribution systems, then targeted public distribution systems. Then we have special schemes like Antodaya Anna Yojana, Annapurna schemes. Then the pattern of marketing, how you will market the produce. So the produce is being marketed from the producer to the consumer. There are different channels. So this is mainly to provide means and ways for the development and formulation of agricultural policies. So how these will work, how the product will move from producer to the consumer, there is some middlemen. Like there may be some wholesalers, there may be some retailers. So different types of market is being classified in our country. Like on the basis of competition, we have perfect market and imperfect market. Then on the basis of geographical areas, we have like village market and we have village market, then national market, international markets. Volume of transactions, what is the volume of transactions? Wholesale market and retail market. Nature of the transactions, how is the nature, whether it is dealing is financial. So this is whether the commodity transactions or financial transactions has been taken place. Number of the transactions, what is the number of the transactions? Nature of the commodity, whether it is special commodity or it is general commodity. What is the stage of marketing, whether it's producing stage or consuming stage? What is the location, national level of market or international? Extent of public services means whether it is regulated or unregulated market. So these are the classification of market in our country. So there are certain problems like through that are being faced by the government or the farmers, by the farmers in the marketing of agricultural produce. Like they don't get a proper price of their product. Most of their money is being catered by the middlemen or intermediaries or traders who take the produce from the village and sell it in the urban areas. So they give, suppose they give 50 rupees to the farmers and sell the produce in 100 rupees, so they get 50% more of the production prices and then keep that price with them. So main producer is not getting the largest share in the consumer prices. So this is the basic problem which our country is facing, that the biggest problem is the producer share in consumer rupees very less. What is the producer producing that is not getting the real or actual price of their production? The middleman is fetching the largest portion of their uh, prices. They are getting the entire margins. So this is the biggest problem. So for this, the farmer has to sell the commodities themselves through the internet facilities. Like nowadays, the government has initiated ENAM, National Agricultural Market. So National Agricultural Market, Electronic National Agricultural Market. So this is an online portal. This is not notified here. Suppose this is, I'm telling you, this is ENAM, National Agricultural Market, electronic. So this is being given by the government, an electronic portal where the farmer can come and give the whatever the peculiarities of their crop, what is the grade of the crop. Grading is being done of their crop and they can see the price across different states of the country. What is the price of your product across different states? And if a farmer is living in UP and they want to sell in Madhya Pradesh to different state, they can sell it online and they can get the prices. So everything is transparent in this ENAM. For this, the farmer should be literate, he should be skilled, he should know how to use that app, that then only they can take benefits. So there is a need for literacy trainings if we want to improvise upon our marketing system. Excuse me, hold on please. Then we have a rural poverty elevation programs. We have different poverty elevation programs like what is party? This is a social phenomena in which a section of the society is unable to fulfill even its basic necessity of life, like the people who are deprived of basic amenities of life. That is party people. The poverty line separates a poor section of the population from non-poor sections. Those below the poverty line are deemed to be poor, and those who are above it are deemed to be not poor. So poverty line is the person who is spending 816 per person per month in rural areas and 1000 per person per month in urban areas. Now this has been increased, actually it is now 1200, around 1200 per person in rural areas and around 1800 per person in the urban areas. So those people who are consuming less than this are poverty peoples, and those people who have the expenditures comes to be 27.5 per day. This is very less, this is also being changed. This is around 100, this is around 150, and this is around 200 per day. So this is for the rural areas. I will be changing it later on. So remember this part. If the consumption expenditure is 1200 per person in the rural areas and 1300 per person in the urban areas, then that person will be under the poverty line. So these are the basic factors responsible for poverty. That is unemployment, social factors, low production, productivity, high population, and lack of the capital facilities. This will lead to there are certain schemes. Now, what is intensive agriculture district program? This is the program basically for intensifying the agriculture sector for better equipment and machineries. That is providing them better machineries, how to use them, training them, and developing the workshops on seed and soil testings. So these are the activities. Then high yielding variety program has been there to use a high yielding varieties of paddy, maize and wheat in 100 districts so as to increase the production. Then national rural employment programs is to provide the rural people the employment, like engaging them in the road development projects or in the dam construction projects. Then we have rural landless employment guarantee programs. Then we have Jawahar Yojgar Yojana, Indira Awas Yojana. Different types of schemes are there. Integrated rural development programs is there in 1979 for uplifting the rural people. Then this objective is to provide gainful employment and increasing the purchasing power of the poor, providing job opportunities, making optimum use of the resources, making them self-reliant. So you should know the names at least, no? Like these are the names: intensive area development programs, high yielding variety programs. So these are mainly crop enhancement programs. Then NREP, these are basically the rural development programs. Now we will move ahead. TRISEM is training of rural youth for self-employment, developing the skilled labor, the labor that can use the intensified or new equipped machineries. There are skilled laborers, educated laborers, and uneducated laborers. So this is for training them to educate them if they can use the machineries, equipments, and so. Then the beneficiaries are basically the women's, the people in SC/ST. So this is self-employment basically for the youth. Then we have Jawahar Gram Samriddhi Yojana. This is for the people of village. The employment assurance scheme is there. Then there are different poverty alleviation programs like Manrega, Swan Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Sadak Yojana, Indira Awas Yojana, स्वर्ण जयंती सहकार रोजगार योजना, अन्नपूर्णा योजना, शिक्षा सहयोग योजना, अंत्योदय अन्न योजना, and प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना. This is basically the schemes provided by the government of India for poverty alleviations. So Manrega Yojana is the scheme guarantee 100 days employment in a year to every household. Means to engaging the people of the rural areas either in the road development or anything else, making them employed. Then this is another employment scheme that is being given by the self-help groups to bring the assisted poor family in the poverty line, organizing the rural poor into self-help. So this is so that they can work in a group. Then Sadak Yojana is to develop the road. Awas Yojana is to develop the house constructions, people engaging the people in the construction work. Then this is Sehkari Yojana, Rozgar Yojana. It is launched in 1st December 1997. Annapurna Yojana that is provided people 35 grams of grains are made available at 2 kg per year. This is very important that is for food and nutritional security has marked is this is not good because only 2 kgs of wheat and 3 kgs of rice per month can't make the farmers food secure. So this is basically to provide food, but then there was against very contradictions in this scheme that this is not nutritionally secure. Then Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is to provide the farmers a financial facilities to start any enterprise and to give them insurance coverage. Even life insurance is given here. This was the first scheme where life insurance is also given to the farmers. Then this is all about today. So we have different schemes. You should know at least the names of the scheme. Like we have different poverty alleviation schemes, Manrega, Swarojgar Yojana, Sadak Yojana, Awas Yojana, Rozgar Yojana, Annapurna Yojana, Shiksha Sahyog Yojana, Antyodaya Ann, and Jan Dhan Yojana. This is very important, Jan Dhan Yojana. It provide further better entrepreneurship development. Then we have different schemes here. Earlier we have discussed like the schemes IADP, Integrated Agriculture Development Program, High Yielding Variety Program, National Rural Employment Program, Integrated Rural Development Program, TRISEM, that's JRY, EAS. These are basically for the youth development, like this Integrated Rural Development Program, training for rural youth. Then we have Jawahar Gram Samriddhi Yojana for a particular development of a village. Then employment assurance scheme to the travel and hilly areas people. So this is all to be shared. Then things you should know about what is the concept of farm and non-farm sector, how they are linked, what is the contribution, then what is the farming place, what is the growth trend, what is the production trend, what do you mean by self sufficiency, food security, how is the marketing channels, what is the role of marketing agencies, and all. So this is all for today. Any question?
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. I have something that's been going on in my mind for some time with regards to interventions or programs, particularly
Okay.
poverty alleviation programs, empowerment programs, and all that. You know, I see
Okay.
people come in, a lot of organizations, NGOs, or sometimes the government comes in, do carry out programs for a year, and I see that is not sustainable
Hmm.
usually. So I used to think in my head, is it possible that I can just get only few out of these programs, make them, arrange them such a way that they can be sustainable maybe in 3 years or maximum of 5 years scheme, empowerment scheme, and just move to another stage. Because the way government is doing it, let me say maybe Nigerian government, the way they are doing it, I'm not saying it as sustainable because basically they only come, train, give you subsidies and go.
Yeah.
Next year they come back again, do the same thing. So the farmers are so relaxed that don't worry, government will come, will get funds, will get inputs, everything, the outputs or the dividend of production will just be swallowed, will be squandered.
Hmm.
There is no sustainability plan in the part of the farmers. Are
Actually,
there
whatever scheme is there, that schemes work effectively in the first 2 3 years. They have to make the entire financial allocations. Then, if it depends upon the people how they are putting into it. Suppose now we have ENAM scheme, Electronic National Agriculture Market Scheme. That is for the betterment of the marketing facilities. That everything is transparent. The person, the farmer can sit here and can see the prices at different states of the country and can sell the produce through the different states also. But for that, the farmer had to be farmer had to be literate. He should have to be educated. He should have to know how to operate with that application, or he should bring his son or relative who is educated. So the things lack behind that point, you know. So if there is effective implementation has to be taken place, then we have to upgrade our rural community. We have to educate them, train them, skill them so that they can use that things. Not only launching the things is the solution of the problem, but we have to make them use themselves. Now if they take help of the intermediaries, suppose trader is sitting in any mandi and they want a trader should operate for him on laptop, so a trader can be faithful or cannot be faithful. So again, that will work as an intermediary for him. So, for the proper implementation of any scheme, we should move to the grassroots level. Ki what is the pre-requirement of that application? That is fulfilled or not? We have launched a scheme e-application, but the farmer is not able to use that. Then how it will be successful? That is the scheme. Okay.
okay? Thank you very much, doctor. Thank you very much.
Most
I
welcome.
have gotten a better perspective to these things. Thank you very much, doctor.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Any other query?